So please welcome on stage, Scherezade Shroff.
Hi guys, I don't know how many of you really know what I do. Do a lot of you know what I do here, or a lot of you don't? Yes, no, maybe? Okay, this session is going to be really informal, and unlike a lot of the stuff you've seen so far, I want you to ask me questions at any point. Even though he just said you can give me questions. Whenever I'm talking in between, stop me, get the mic, just ask the question, and let's get this hall a little alive, because you all look like we are torturing you all right now. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I am Scherezade Shroff, not Sherry Shroff actually, but I've become Sherry Shroff because everybody finds it easier. I started with a blog called Fashionalize, which was my blog that was associated with IndiBlogger and still is. And it just started as a release for my passion with fashion, beauty. I actually honestly hate writing, so I just did it at the point because there was no option of having a video medium. And I just started writing. There was no plan to commercialize it or make it my career, etc., etc. I was a full-time model, and this was just something I loved doing on and off. And eventually, a network, I don't know how many of you know about YouTube networks. Basically, they're pretty much like your channel networks, like your TV networks, where they own a couple of channels and they produce content for YouTube. So one of those networks approached me and said, you know, you're a model and you have a blog. Why don't you come and video blog on our channel? And I was like, okay, this seems different, interesting, and let's give it a shot. And I started with them, worked with them for a year, and I flipped their channel over to #1 in fashion and beauty in India. And then I was like, wow, if I'm working on someone else's channel, I want my own channel. I don't want to be doing stuff because they own all the copyright to all the blogs that I created. So last November, I launched my own channel, which is Scherezade Shroff, and that's the one that has over 1 million views already. And yeah, it's been growing every day. A lot of the things you've heard today, I've never really paid attention to them. No SEO, no, none of those things. And it's sort of just literally me who shoots, edits, uploads, produces all my content. I don't have a team. And I manage pretty fine, so I think all of you will as well if you're looking at creating video content. Also, I think for me the focus, which all of you need to know, is every blog has a focus. We have a voice. The reason you're a blogger is because you have a voice. So you would have been a model or a Bollywood actor selling some product somewhere. So your voice is unique and your focus is what's important as a blogger. So for me, when I started blogging on my own channel, I had already sort of gone through Fashionalize, gone through FashionTube, which was the channel I was working on earlier. And when I started my own channel, I sort of set some ground rules saying, this is my voice, and you know, I'm going to have certain things that I'm going to have on this channel and certain things that I'm not. And I was like, what is the primary reason I'm starting this channel? One was obviously that I wanted to wake up in the morning and shoot a video blog without having the hassle of having a production and getting in touch with my CEO and saying, can I shoot today? Or can I, you know, is this topic allowed? That was one primary reason where I was just like, I want freedom to shoot what I want to shoot when I want to shoot it. The second reason was I wanted to help girls across the globe feel beautiful. I get a lot of fan mail every day, and a lot of the girls are insecure, not confident, or they think, you know, oh, being a beauty blogger, that I'm only endorsing makeup or saying, you know, you need to be made up or you need to be in like the newest fashions to be cool. But for me, that was the primary focus, where I was like, this is my voice and I want to help these girls from wherever they are and sort of tell them that, you know, you're unique, be you, and that's cool. You know, you don't need to always have makeup on. And if a lot of you follow me on Instagram, you see my bare-faced selfies are a big thing, where I wake up in the morning and I take a selfie with no makeup, nothing on my face, and a lot of girls have started doing that. And I encourage my followers to sort of, you know, send me there, tag me, and sort of say, feel beautiful. And that for me is an achievement on my blog. I mean, other than anything else, I don't look at subscribers, views, the amount of money I make. At the end of the day, the focus was this, and that's what I live by every day. So I would advise each of you, first sit down and think about the focus of your blog and sort of stick to that always, come what may. Now the next big question is commercialization and brand deals, and this is probably what most people ask me at events like this. Oh, how did you become successful? How do you do so many brand deals? And how do you still sort of manage to make it believable? Now for me, there's a very fine line. I have a lot of brand deals that come my way every day, to be honest. But as I said, I chose that this is my voice. And there are a lot of things, like my subscribers know me inside out. You know what colors I like, what I eat, what I drink, what my fiance looks like, and lots of things. So it's very hard to sort of lie to your following and sort of sell things that they know are not you. So for me, from day one, with a lot of brands, I maintain one rule, which is if it's a product I haven't used and I won't use, you won't see it on my platform, ever. And the amount of money that's being offered doesn't make a difference. And that's something I sort of stood by irrespective, and a lot of brands and a lot of other bloggers don't understand it. They're like, oh, but it's just a post, it's just a video. Well, one thing you need to be sure about is everything that's digital never dies. So an ad plays on TV for a year and it's gone, you forget it. So we all remember some sort of ads we saw as kids, but we don't see them anymore. But a video on YouTube is there and it's going to stay there. So even 10 years later, if you do a terrible video that you're not happy about, it's still going to be there. So before you're putting out content, make sure you are sure of yourself and what you stick by and stand by, and put out content that's relevant. Do not put out content just for the money or for the brand deals. Also, the other way to supplement it is to sort of, do deals with brands where you're seen on their platforms more than yours. So I do a lot of videos for a lot of brands like Lakme, Maybelline, Toni and Guy, lots of them, but I've done them on their channels. So I make a video for them where they produce it, but it's on their channel, not mine. So my subscribers already know that this is sort of a brand association, and I'm not really cheating them and saying, oh, I love Lakme or I love Maybelline or whatever. The other thing is always be honest. That I think is key when you're a blogger. Your following comes to you because of your honesty and your integrity. So do not lie, don't be fake when you're doing brand associations. That's another thing. When there are a lot of products that come my way where I don't feel that I can pitch it. For example, I have a lot of brands that come to me with face washes. Now, I have an interesting story where I had terrible acne, and while I was being treated for acne, I started using Medimix soap, which most of you are going to be like, oh my god, no. But I was using that on my face, and I still use that till today. And I've made a lot of videos about this. I've already said this in videos that, this is what I use on my face. So when a face wash company comes and approaches me and says, we want you to say, use this face wash, I'm like, I'm sorry, it doesn't work because my audience already knows that I use the soap. But if you're willing to let me try your face wash for 2 months and do a genuine review on it, I'm open to doing it. But most of them usually chicken out because they already have a script that they want you to follow and stuff like that. So you've got to find that balance. You've got to find brands that really understand how you work. Also, a lot of bloggers, forget their voice. They forget that their voice is unique. Each of you have your own personalities to back your blog, and your readers or your viewers all know them. So you've got to stick by that and sort of be aggressive and be assertive when a brand comes to you. Now, a lot of times people are like, oh, she's a real diva on set. She, doesn't say the lines that are written. She doesn't wear the clothes that she's given. Well, I'm very sure about what I will or won't do for a brand video at this point. And when I go on to set, I'm very clear, and I'm like, I'm not going to say this. This is a lie. I will say this. And that's the sort of deal that I have with my clients most of the time, where they're like, this is the product. You choose how to pitch it or not to pitch it or whatever you want to do. And that really works as a blogger, because then you can be honest with your audience and at the same time you're still making money. It's not like, you're cheating anyone or you're lying to anyone. And I think that depends from blog to blog. Like a lot of the earlier speakers said, they're against advertising or promotion and it works for their platforms. But I think in the beauty and fashion space, you can't really do without brands because it's such a brand-driven industry that even when we're doing tutorials or you're doing your own stuff, you're obviously favoring brands and putting branded content even without, being paid or whatever. So you have to sort of have a mix of both of those. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about a day in my life, since that's what your agenda sort of states. It's pretty hectic. It starts anywhere in India because I travel a lot, actually, on work. And the minute I get up, it's pretty much first thing I check is my phone for my Instagram. And as soon as I brush my teeth, I get to work. So I'm online responding to comments on my channel or checking emails, responding to that. That's how it pretty much starts. And then it's either shooting or I'm at an event, meetings, or a day spent editing, because I shoot, edit, upload all my content myself. I have no team, I have nobody else who does this for me. That's another thing I feel. When you're a blogger, what is the definition of a blog? It's your view that you're putting down. So I feel when you work with a team, it's not your view. If someone else is writing the blog post, it shouldn't be on your blog. Or if someone else is working on the design, it's not your blog. So which is why for me, I do whatever I can do in my capacity, and I don't sort of pay attention to a lot of things like design or I update them very rarely, honestly. Because for me, my content is more the focus, but I want to be able to do everything myself. So even when I sit with an edit, it's literally my version of my blog that's going out. There isn't an editor editing this and saying, oh, this is what should go out, which is what I would advocate all of you to do. It's not hard, it's a lot more work, but it's also a lot of fun because you're in control of everything, and your blog pretty much doesn't work without you, which I think works. And after that, it's usually a long day. My day usually ends at 10, 11 in the night, whatever I'm doing. And it ends with me responding to comments on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Google+, and then a prayer that God does not create any more social platforms because it's getting harder and harder to respond to people. That is really important to me, to respond to my subscribers and viewers. Now when you're a blogger and you're creating content for an audience, like the lady here pointed out and she said nobody responds to my tweet in the morning, that for me is a big no-no. So you will find me responding to every tweet, every comment, every post, anywhere. And that I think is amazing because you connect with your viewers, you also hear what they like, what they dislike. And sometimes it's also fun to respond to the negative comments because it's more fun than the positive ones. But yeah, that's something I would encourage all of you to do. Don't ignore your subscribers, followers, or viewers. Always sort of engage them, talk to them, and I think that's pretty much it. If anyone has questions, I'm happy to answer them. Yeah, mic's not working. Anyone has questions?
Questions, anyone?
I don't see anyone from here. So.
Well, I think she's explained everything clearly. Either that or you weren't listening and you were just looking at her. Okay. So, big round of applause for sharing right there.